And
Which says we're live.
we are live.
That's
Two,
what it's telling us.
there's
I
two
could
of
have
us
swore I saw
tonight.
our notification. Yes. Looks like I got all the notifications are coming through on Facebook, YouTube. You sure are. Thanks, Jonathan. My buddy Jonathan and Michelle here holding down the floor. Our two of our mods. Yep, I'm on. Oop, Facebook. Sorry, thought I turned my volume down. I don't know why Facebook's coming. Okay.
Technical issues, man. Technical issues happening. And
Where?
FYI, we are heading into a retrograde.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Mrs. Johnson said, well, actually, it's so funny. Someone just asked me recently that actually it was Rosa. She's like, oh, wasn't Mercury retrograde? I'm like, I don't think so. I know Venus, I think, was going into retrograde.
Yeah, Mercury, I believe, is heading into retrograde.
Yep.
Right?
It's always a fun time of the year.
We're actually going to get to learn a little bit about Hermes tonight.
So, wisdom of 3 is actually wisdom of 2 with the 3rd in spirit.
Yes.
Deb had a very busy weekend, and she is all good stuff, but she had to bow out tonight. So it's just Carrie and myself.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll maybe see her on the chat.
Maybe. I don't know. Did she say she was going to?
No, she didn't say she was, but I'm hoping that maybe she'll pop in or out. Just say a quick
nice.
hello. Yes.
That'd be nice. But as always, when one of us is unable to be here, the other two try to make sure we can be present and attentive to our peeps, our watchers.
We're trying to stay consistent. We're trying to be consistent where for us, all 3 of us to cancel, it's usually, I think, what we were all sick one time. So how's the new puppy doing? It sounds like Destiny is doing good.
Yeah.
Still working, still acclimating. She was snuggled with one of the cats.
She was snuggling with the cats, and she was putting on some weight, and she was settling down. Deb was able to do more around the house without Destiny whining and crying so much. So she's definitely acclimating to her new surroundings and becoming more familiar and feeling safer. So that's good.
There's a lot of energy, let's face it, between the dogs, the cats, the pigs, and just nature where Deb lives. There is a lot to get used to.
Yes.
And we both know that dog's never going up for adoption. Like, it's going to be available to adopt, but Deb's going to end up keeping Destiny. We both know that.
Yeah. Hi,
hey,
Nida.
That's so weird. Why is my phone my phone's acting weird? All of a sudden, some of the comments are going away. I do not know why.
Well,
one of our buddies,
phone doesn't want to cooperate, so.
Well, 2 of my comments that I posted didn't even reply. But what a foster failure. Deb is a failure. In the sense of with the intent to foster and adopt, and
with the intent to foster and not. Yeah, no. Yeah. Totally agree.
Because Nanook was supposed to be a foster. And she knew he would be a hard placement, but come on. After a month, he wasn't going anywhere. He even changed his name, so
yeah. she's got a big, 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 big heart, and she's got a good partner that understands that and supports her with it. So that's what's important.
Oh, so it wasn't me. She did that. Nydia, she had deleted her comment because she had misspelled something good. I'm not going totally crazy, just a little crazy. Renee was supposed to be a foster too.
Genocide.
Hey, Jonathan loves his pups, and his pack has unfortunately dwindled over the last couple of years.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. And it's when you take one in to take care of it for a little while, and you put that love and healing energy into the animal, it's and I did, Renee. I gave him a genocide. Um, it's not easy to let him go. It's not easy to let him go. And then even when one passes on and goes across the Rainbow Bridge, and you got the space for a new one, it's like it's still not easy. But did you want to start with a card? I saw
Did I
you.
want to start with a? Well, I pulled out when you mentioned the Keepers of the Light deck. Of course, I pulled it out. So, and I'll be honest, this deck was on like the shelf of decks that I don't use that often, but I feel like I should not pull from a goddess deck.
Well,
Damn, Jill, was that your tummy? Hi, Mary.
I mean,
So I'll pull, and I so I have the last two meditations. I have them clipped, just about perfect. I just need to upload them and finish them off. I was a slacker. I have them both started. So those meditations from the last 2 weeks to meet Isis, and the other one to there was another one that you did carry that a couple weeks ago that I have to still finish. Slacker. I'm a big slacker. So this is from
um,
my Kyle Gray
excuse
Keepers of
me.
the Light
So
Oracle.
just so everybody is aware and everybody knows, Jill is amazing and we love her to death. And we are so eternally grateful because Jill does so much, not just on screen, but off screen, behind the scenes. She's the one that gets these things set up. She's the one that makes sure all of the places are connected. She makes sure that when there's going to be a description, that the description's there. So mwah, we love our Jilly.
Thank you. Well, it's kind of funny because it was a joke on like other channels I participated in that I used to be like the if you ever watch Joe Rogan, Jamie is like his like sidekick. So I used to Google shit and like, Jill, get this timestamp. Jill, can you drop a link? So it's kind of, but it was a good learning experience to set this up. But I have taught the girls the ways so that they can function without me, because luckily
Yeah,
everything
she
is very
has,
easy.
but
But thank you very much, Carrie.
we so appreciate you on and off screen.
I know you
We,
both do.
we
I know
actually
that. All right. So
we
let's
actually
see
had
what.
oh, what'd you get?
No. Say what you're gonna say. It's
Oh,
okay because I gotta look up. I'm gonna look up a little bit about him.
okay. So we actually were talking a little bit over the last several days and about what is unique about us as a group and the wisdom of three beyond the veil and why we are who we are. And it just really has to do with the fact that we all have something that we can offer. And then, as the three of us for the last several years, I can't tell you how many times we've had group chats that were just like, where we were just getting, all three of us were getting instantaneous downloads and feeding into it and adding to it, and like the nuts and bolts and the similarities of the information that we all had received was so incredibly intense, but we each brought our own flavor and our own expertise and our own experience to what that situation and that download. And that's really what inspired us to come up with this. And actually, Jilly was really the one that was a driving factor in that as well. So,
Well, it's funny. So my head was tingling as you were saying that. Like we used to say if we could capture that magic that we had in our messages, and it's like with three different people. So of course we all get it a different way, but the message was always the same, which was so always so interesting. But I had been on YouTube not as a creator, but just a participant on a lot of channels. So
yeah.
I kind of, got to go through the good, the bad, the ugly. For those who know, they know. And, just from my friends having channels, learned kind of the ins and outs. But trust me, I had a new respect for content creators once, because it wasn't until I was on the bridge with Corey. Shout out to the bridge buddies because they're the ones that got us to the subscribers that we needed. When
Yes.
Deb and
Thank
Kerry
you.
showed up one night in the chat, the next day, Deb it's like, we need to do a YouTube channel. I'm like, dude, I've been telling you this for years. She's like, I just didn't understand. But that's what prompted it. We actually spent like a month talking, like, trying to come up with a name. What is our, what did we want to do on the channel? What was our direction? What did we want to bring to the table? And then this all came to fruition. And yes, I created everything. And there's nothing better than texting and emailing both of them. And then I have one of them going, "Did you send me the link? I texted and emailed it to you both." So it's always that, like, it's like, how many different ways can I send it? But I made it so that, regardless, it's not just mine. It is all three of us. So
Yeah.
that's why if I'm not here, Carrie can easily access it. Carrie's done more with StreamYard with the banners and stuff because I'm on my iPad or my phone. So I can't do as much. But it's been a journey. And, this is, I kind of call it like our growing pains. We're trying to find our groove, we're trying to find what works. That's why we keep asking for feedback. What do you want to hear? What do you want us to talk about? What do you want to learn? Like, we can pull cards all day long, right? But I just know people have questions, and that's what we wanted to do, was bring our perspectives, because our belief systems are kind of the same at the end of the day. And I just feel like with the explosion, I don't know, Carrie, how you feel, with the explosion of so many new readers out there with channels in person, there's been such an influx with the pandemic. You just
Hmm.
really have to use your discernment of when you pick someone. And
Yes.
that, I feel, is very important to me, to make sure people are educated
Yes.
on how to, I don't want to say a fake, but if you're going to spend money, make sure you're getting your bang for your buck. Like, to give you
Hmm.
a quick example, I always love to get readings from other people. I'll pay for them full price. I don't care. And I don't do it to test them. I like looking at people's styles, and I learned something. Someone who was kind of local to my area, I paid for it. It was supposed to be a palm, crystals, and cards, but right away it was something about I needed this healing thing. And
I remember.
one of the funniest things was in 2022, she'd said to me, "Oh no, your health is good. You're fine now." And anyone that knows me knows that was not the truth, because I got sick again in the fall. But she wanted to do this. I needed this deep cleanse. So I'm always forthcoming too. And I say, "Oh, I'm a reader too," just so that I'm upfront and honest. But whenever she came back that it was going to cost $1,200, I was like, "For what?" "For supplies." I'm like what? Crystals and this.
Mm.
I'm like, you can reuse a crystal. Like, if you have a specific crystal for someone to work with them, once you're done, you just cleanse it and put new intent. So I heard her out, but I was like, yeah, I don't think so. I'm like, I already
Yeah.
do Reiki. She's like, no, but you need deeper. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's more my where I'm coming from. I just,
Right.
not that I'm going to tell people not to go there, but that's what I like to try to educate people on. I don't know. That's my spiel.
Yeah.
So I
Who'd you
got
get?
this guy. I'm going to say his name wrong. Hilaron. Divine healing. Honor your sensitivity, retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. So I do like when I see this, it's all like green heart chakra, like his he has an emerald in the middle of his heart. And what does like our healing come from? Usually it comes from a place of love. Our hearts need to be healed. That's where we tend to hold the wounds. And I did go the book. I have no shame. Just because I really am not really that familiar. I don't really pick up this deck much. So he's a spiritual master who lived in the Middle East during the 4th century. At the age of 15, he felt the call to go to the retreat of St. Anthony in the Egyptian desert. This was busy with people needing healing. So after a while, he went back home with monks. During that time, his parents passed away and he devoted his life to service for the rest of his life, lived as a hermit, you know, and to this day he's dedicated for healing. So call upon him if you need help with healing. That is his life purpose. That is what he's here doing in the sky, in wherever you see your gods and goddesses, but he is a god of healing. And he started at a very young age. He was only 15. So I believe it's a busy time to start a channel.
I agree, Mary.
Yeah, we actually started what, March, I think it was. I think it was March when we kicked off the channel. Well, actually we kicked off with just I think end of February. We could not be live until we had we had to have 100 subscribers. So we were just posting quick videos of quick
Yeah.
card pulls. I don't think we got to do a live stream until March almost. All right, so Terry, I will hand
Yes.
it over to you
All right.
for gods.
So tonight we are doing an introduction to some of the gods, and to make things even a little bit more spicier than they've been, where we focused on mainly one person or two people or a specific category or pantheon. I kind of mixed it up tonight. So we're going to get a little bit of a smorgasbord of pantheons and different gods and insight on a multitude of gods that you can work with. And so it's going to be because so this morning, for those of you that have started following my Facebook and TikTok, it didn't upload to YouTube this morning. That was the technical difficulty. Just realized that before we went live. I did a collaborative reading this morning, and after the collaborative reading, I was sitting there and I'm going, I've been thinking about this for a while, a week. And I had a couple of names written down and I've been kind of pondering over it and mulling over it, and I wasn't sure. So I did my collaborative, and after doing my collaborative and my quiet time, I had 8 gods present themselves. A couple of the ones, obviously, that there were requests for last week, as well as others. So to start, we did have a request to learn about Mabon. I will give a little tiny detail, a little bit of introduction to Mabon. However, I want to share that as far as the Sabbath Mabon goes and learning about the Sabbath Mabon, which is one of the things that I was talking about going to Salem in September for, we will actually be doing a collaborative teaching on the Sabbath harvest Mabon on Tuesday, September 26th, where the 3 of us are all going to work on presenting that information together. But for tonight, the god Meponos, known as Mabon, which means divine son, was the son of Modron, the divine mother. He was stolen at 3 days old. Can you imagine that? That sucks. 3 days old, he was stolen away from his mother, and he was held away from her until he was rescued by King Arthur. At which time it said he served beside King Arthur and with his knights and his soldiers. He represents the light of youth, the cycle of dying and being reborn. Mabon is the god of sex, magic, prophecy, and power. Remember, more on him and the Sabbath in September.
I like him already.
Genocide, this one's for you, bud. So, Odin is the Norse god. No judgment.
All I can think of is that Thor's father.
Norse, he's the all-father god, powerful, all-knowing, all-seeing god. His story is that through the sacrifice of his own eye at Mirror, a mystical spring, he gained the wisdom of ages. Odin is strong and wild. And now I know why Genocide likes him so much. Odin will help awaken your psychic instincts, open the third eye, allowing us to look beyond the physical, through the veil, and into the spiritual realm. He helps us unlock the truth and see things for how they really are. So there's a little bit on Odin. Last week, we learned about Isis. And it was suggested by Jill, I believe, that we talk a little bit about.
Deb.
Oh, it was Deb?
Yeah, I agreed.
You agreed. All right. So it was made. The suggestion was made. We talk about Horus a little bit. So Horus is from the Egyptian pantheon. He is an Egyptian god, and is represented as having an eagle head. Horus bestows insight, psychic knowledge, and awareness, and can aid you on your travel between the worlds. Horus is also known as the falcon god, and earned his place of power by avenging Osiris' death. Horus was closely connected to the kings of Egypt, and held in high favor as the Lord of the Sky. And that the saying is that the moon and the sun are actually his eyes. Therefore, he is also known as the gatekeeper, or the gateway to the cosmos. Working with Horus to move in and through the cosmos with our mind through meditation, we can harness the natural magic that is all around us. He will help guide and connect you with energy, light, and wisdom. Yes, I know it. I looked at a couple different resources, and I kept seeing eagle more than.
Yeah, my card for him is like an eagle, but it almost looks like a hawk. I guess that's a
It's
tough
very
call.
kind of. And you think about it too, hawk, eagle, falcon, those are still very, all of them are very majestic, mighty, powerful birds. There's another word for that besides bird. But they're all very, highly favored. So kind of they can be interchangeable.
Mandela effect.
So now we're going to move to Hindu and some Hindu gods. We're going to talk about 3 Hindu gods, I believe. Yes, 3. I like the number 3. So the first one is Lord Shiva. He is actually one of the Trinity gods for the Indian culture. In India, India, um, having the power and ability to tame fear. He's actually represented as having a cobra or wearing a cobra around his neck as a representation of his ability to tame fear. Shiva, like Horus, is connected to the skies and cosmos. He is often represented holding a trident, and this particular trident, again, three things, represents the three masculine aspects of divine power: creator, preserver, and destroyer. So while Lord Shiva is known as the destroyer of fear, he is also known as the Great Father, and being able to offer protection, support, guidance, helping a person to move from the place of having that fear destroyed and that situation taken away to a place of clarity and connection. Lord Shiva had a son with goddess Parva, or Parvata. Parvita. Like that, I don't know. I apologize for the names that I can't pronounce.
Oh yeah, I
And
can be no help either.
that is Lord Ganesh. He is said to have gained his elephant head when mistaken as an intruder by his father in their home. It is said that his father beheaded him and replaced his head with that of an elephant so that he could continue to live life and live life to the fullest. So Ganesh is actually known to actually remove obstacles, and taxi drivers in India love to keep a totem of him with them because he is the remover of obstacles. So they believe that he's the one that protects them and keeps them and their passengers as they weave in and out of traffic. He will help connect us with a life loving, joyful, dancing, clear path. He is also a very approachable god. So both his father and Ganesh are approachable. Krishna is the third Hindu god that we're going to meet tonight. And he is known as Mahavata, or the Great Avatar. Remember the show Avatar, Airbender?
I love that show. Watched it with my kids.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And you look get to the nuts and bolts of it, and you look to the core of it. There's a lot of fact and a lot of truth that can be revealed too.
Mm-hmm.
So Krishna fully embodies the divine wisdom. He is very, very approachable, supportive, loving, peaceful, and holds a great love for all people and animals. Krishna is an Indian god that is for all people who are open to working with him. You do not have to be from India. You do not have to be Indian. You just like you don't have to be Irish or Scottish to work with the Celtic pantheon, or a Viking to work with the Norse gods and goddesses. All of them can be worked with when called upon appropriately and when you choose to approach them and receive them appropriately. Krishna will help guide a person on their journey to choose love over fear, helping one to move beyond the limits, wars, barriers that the ego creates, into the world of opportunity that is all around us. Now we're going to shift to a god who actually I'm going to share how he's interchangeable between Roman and Greek. So Mercury is what he's known as in his Roman pantheon name and mythology. In Greek mythology, he's known as Hermes. There are multiple gods that are interchangeable between pantheons. There are a lot of crossovers. This is one example of that I'm sharing and using tonight is with the Hermes Mercury based on Roman and Greek philosophies. Mercury or Hermes, however you choose to refer to him, carries the medical symbol.
Oh yeah, the snake with the cross.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to say.
CADUCEUS. That thing.
Got nothing.
Nurses have it. Doctors have it. Medical professionals have it as part of their symbols. But that's one word that my tongue doesn't want to work with right now. How they carry the healing wand. They are both known to have wings upon their feet, which represents being able to move swiftly in action and movement, bringing them from time to time and place to place. And they are known as the god of communication. And
so can I just interject for 1 second? Because they are the god of communication, which is why they rule Mars. Just
Mercury.
Putting that out there.
Mercury.
No, he's the god of war. He's yeah, no, I didn't screw that up. Wait a minute. No,
it's okay.
Yeah. Sorry. It is no. Yeah.
It's okay. At least in everything that all the research that I've smart. Call upon that they said they've both of them said they are both the god of communication and the planet Mercury. Call upon Mercury or Hermes when you need help in having an open, honest, and loving conversation. He will give you guidance in and with divination work, as well as with any form of expressive writing, poetry, and journaling. Also, he can help heal miscommunications that have brought distress. Coronis, Celtic god, also known as Herne or the horned stag god. Coronis has a strong representation of connecting with the earth. He is the lover of the Great Mother and helps her bring life into the earth. So Coronis and Gaia are what in that mythology and legend are what created the earth as it is and brought life into it. He's known as the Lord of Wild Things and god of fertility, and you can work with him to connect with nature, animals, animal spirits, and ancestors. So those were the 8 that stopped through to provide a quick insight and glimpse at what they can offer you and why they are in existence. Sorry, my nose itches, guys.
So This is I found the my Mercury card. That's the symbol you're trying to say. That little medical
Yeah,
symbol.
that medical symbol, the caduceus.
Oh, yes, John Side has many,
That's
many
cool.
tattoos.
I love tattoos.
So this has been my biggest takeaway because I didn't really know much about gods and goddesses except for, I knew who Isis was and just the ones that you hear about the most. I would
Mm-hmm.
say, because like all of the gods and goddesses aren't going to resonate with you or you're not going to feel connected. I'll be honest, when we talked about the Celtic gods, I was like, oh my God, it just, it was so interesting to hear, but I will say it's for me, it's the Egyptian and the Greek gods are the ones that I find I'm drawn to because that's what it is. Who are you drawn to? They're all
Yeah,
there, right?
they're all
To
there.
provide guidance, but it's more the Greek and definitely the Egyptian gods that I'm drawn to work with. Because I did connect with Isis really well last week, but she wanted to get into some deep stuff that I just could not do during a live stream. So I thanked her and told her I'd be back. She gave me a hug, but I was like, oh, no, no, I can't do this right now. But she was ready. She was ready to tell me how it is. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, can't do that right now.
That's
But I
ISIS.
found that I connected easier with her than the Celtic gods. But that's just
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. And I guess I have a plethora of gods and goddesses that I will work with, or that I'm learning or introducing myself to. Up on top of my china cabinet is actually where Isis and Ganache sit together, and they have three spheres in front of them, and that's their altar space. So I work with them when I need to do certain work in my life, and um, then I have obviously, I have a deep connection with a lot of the Celtic pantheon, heritage wise and study wise, but I also have a respect and understanding of different pantheons, and a desire that as I get to know different ones and I'm introduced to different ones, to learn more. Even in doing more of the in-depth studies um that this journey has allowed me to and afforded me to do and take, I have personally kind of realized that there's times when certain gods and goddesses have stepped in and through, but I just wasn't, other than being part of the universal source and part of the universal spirit, I wasn't necessarily able to identify them for who they were in the moment. But now, after doing more studying and going deeper, I have a better understanding. I have more education. I have more knowledge. I have more insight. And I'm able to make that connection. Okay, so when that happened, it was actually this one. And when that happened, it was actually this one. And it's funny because Krishna is a name that was very familiar to me well before my witch journey. Okay, even, um, it was just a name that radiated with me and resonated with me for as far back as I could remember. But I didn't really understand or know why until, so that's pretty. It's been a journey for me as well.
I know there was a goddess that came through during a healing session that I was receiving. There was a goddess that, but the name wasn't provided to me. So even though I don't necessarily work with gods and goddesses, I typically work more with angels and spirit guides and, you know, other teachers. They're around me. It's just a
Mhm.
matter of, calling, kind of like calling them up to bat, right? Saying, okay, I am gonna, they're always around us.
Yeah.
And even if you're not like doing an invocation for them, they're still hanging around.
Oh yeah. And then there's times like where they'll under the direction of source, whatever source might be for you, under the direction of source, they will intervene and they will interject at times in our lives, even without our foreknowledge of it.
Which all I believe all deities do, whether it's Archangel Michael, your guardian angel. So we all have free will. That's why we have to ask for help. They're just waiting for us to
Mhm.
ask. But there are exceptions. And everyone's heard stories where, like, a teenager walks away from a car crash that's not their fault with no scratches.
Right.
And, the adrenaline, they say, it's all the adrenaline when moms can lift cars off their kids and stuff like that. They do intervene, but you can't count on that. You really do need to ask them for help. If you want them to work with you, you have to ask. That's the great part of free will, right? They can't interfere.
Right.
They get to
Without
sit
not
back and
without directed, not without a directive.
nope, they just get to sit back and watch us make bad choices in our lives going, if you just ask for a little bit of help. So I'm kind of glad you mentioned this deck. 'Cause I have never pulled this one out that much. The Keepers of the Light. It's actually kind of interesting, and I can see where it's like divvied up. Like, there's Mother Mary and Jesus, but then you got Isis. It's like a good mixture of all
Yeah,
of them, and you can tell. Yes, you can tell them to stop.
you
So
can.
when spirit
Yeah.
talks to me, and I don't know if you experience this, Carrie, but when I tap into spirit, they just want to keep talking. Anytime I've tapped into someone, they they're just, it's funny because spirit has personalities like that sometimes mirror their human forms, but I have encountered ones that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to end now and say thank you, because they just keep going and they just want to tell me everything. I'm like, okay, I have to go back to work, or, whatever, and just say, thank them and honor them and, welcome them back another time. That's So yeah, you do have to tell them to stop too sometimes. It's all
Right.
about your boundaries. You just got to put your boundaries up. So we have one. So this, of course, was a 5 Tuesday month for August. So we can do another, if people would like a wrap up of gods and goddesses, unless Carrie, you got something up your sleeve of another one you wanted to talk about, or we could keep it open to just card readings, healing, just kind of go with the flow, kind of like what the first few live streams, we just kind of went live and just saw what happened.
I
I'll leave
would
that up to you, my friend, because this has been your month to do all this.
I would be completely to you. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I'm not genocide. I was trying to say very, very true, so true. Thank you for the support through my. It's just not letting me post, so I'll just say it out loud.
There you go.
I would, to be honest, I think we talked initially about maybe doing, a couple of power couples, but to be
Oh,
completely
that's right.
to be completely honest, if people wouldn't mind, I think it'd be kind of cool just to have next Tuesday be a opportunity for people to ask questions if they want to ask questions.
We'll talk to Deb too, see what she's feeling.
Wrap up would be cool, or how about some North American Native God? You know what? I might be able to bring a special guest on at one point who would be spot on for some of that. And I don't want to do a disservice to them when I have a dear friend who
See, we'll see if they're
is
free for next Tuesday.
all right.
No pressure. Yeah.
I can
And
ask.
I think everyone would like to see, not that they don't love seeing us, but it has been our hope to bring some special guests on. We got a couple people in mind, but if you have someone that can really, really speak to that, then hey, we'll bring them on. Hey, Pixie Dust. So few of the bridge buddies are here. Corey has not been live.
I love when the bridge buddies join.
Yes, I know the bridge buddies are a lot of fun. I did actually reach out to Corey last week. He's really busy with the house and they just got back from vacation. So I don't think I'll even see him until September, to be honest, until after Labor Day at this point, because we only got 2 weeks, barely left in the month.
Yeah, I know. Time's flying.
So for real, school's gonna start
Flying.
next week. Next week, I think. You have John. So Mrs. John Asai has a massive book of most. I got some goddess books too. I actually I have like a little bit of everything. Like I got a book on gods and goddesses, and I got a book on how to reach a palm. I actually have this whole book series because I'm a weirdo. It's like the little book of there's actually a little book of goddesses. So when I used to be able to go to Barnes and Nobles on my way home, as I saw them, I would get the little book of symbols, and then I went on Amazon. I'm like, how many of these? Because once I get a started collection, I like to finish it. And sure enough, I got all 18 of them. And I actually think I have a duplicate one that I'm always, that happens, I'm always happy to give away. So there's another, hi Angela, that's another bridge buddy. But I have a little book of everything. I get a lot of astrology books. I have a lot of astrology. I got numerology, symbol chakras, tarot, spreads, tarot and tequila. And
what
I
a
looked
mix.
up some of the recipes and they don't sound that good. I actually got it thinking it might be fun to do on the bridge one night because we do like crazy stuff over there sometimes.
Yeah.
And none of them were appealing. And I was like, Corey, do you like tequila? So I brought moonshine instead.
Potatoes.
I'm still finishing my review, so summer. It's just so summer. Fall's my favorite. I already saw pumpkin stuff coming out already, which is kind of a little too early for me. And I love pumpkin. Fall is definitely my favorite season. So we have like 10 minutes left. Do you want to do some random card pulls, Carrie?
Oh, I was just shuffling a deck and a freaking pile fell out.
I
love when that happens, right?
I've had that happen. I had half a deck fall out once. Which deck are you using?
This is the Sacred Forest Oracle.
I do not have that one, but I've looked at it. That's really cool. I like that. something
Bluebell fairy
something flurry. I can
gratitude.
barely read. I'm too blind.
Fairy gratitude, and the stag. The stag's in the field. Look at that, guys. The stag. Just
We don't
actually
really
looks
have time for a meditation right
looks like fields.
now because we only got about 10 minutes left. I'm sorry,
It's,
sorry, Nydia.
it's like a field of lavender too. I'm just what I'm picking up on this right now is just really they're going into our sacred space with an attitude of gratitude is so important because we can go into our sacred place with that attitude of gratitude. We can actually reach higher levels while we're there. There can be an ascension that takes place by entering with a spirit of gratitude. So what's playing out for me at the moment is the some of the lessons that I've been recently learning, and I've been able to do daily journaling every morning. And there was one morning that I literally picked up my journal, I sat down with my journal, and I got distracted and I did something else, and I literally heard and felt my guide say, "Are you gonna say good morning to me yet? What?" Kind of like it's like really sassy, kind of like, "Hello, we're getting a rhythm. We've gotten this rhythm going. Don't lose it now," kind of thing. And it's made me laugh and it made me kind of chuckle to myself. And I literally started my that morning's journal entry by saying, "Thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you." So it's that attitude of gratitude that really will help with the ascension process. So that's what I'm getting from that for the collective.
I keep feeling that we're on the cusp of huge changes. Now I know it's like fall's coming and all that, but the summer went by so fast and was really kind of quiet. And when I say, and I know there's lots going on in the world, there's all the devastation in Maui, and there's been all this other stuff, but I feel like there's been this lull after so much chaos. But it's like the calm before the storm. I just feel like this big like shift, we're gonna feel it come this fall. Don't really know what it's about, but it doesn't feel bad, but I just feel like we're gonna see a lot of quick, fast shift in changes all around. Some that's direct, some that's indirect. Yeah, I just keep feeling that, and I feel like the things we've talked about with our meditations and how to call in gods and goddesses and angels has all been for a reason. And that's what I'm really hearing really loud right now. Like everything we've been talking about is for a reason because we're going to probably want to call during these like change always feels scary. So I don't want to say scary times. It's just change is always scary, right? The unknown. So I guess that is what I'm feeling with all this. Yeah, self care will be really important. We did a whole month of self care and we looked at our shadow selves and we looked at angels. So we've kind of been
Mm,
doing the gamut. In a way, it's almost like prepping for what's coming.
yeah,
That makes sense. I don't
yeah, yeah. I mean,
know.
there's a mission to connect with the community, to bring enlightenment, to bring education, to bring resources to individuals in a way that brings hope. And, you know, one of the things that keeps resonating a lot in a lot of my meditations and a lot of my journeys is the season is ripe and the season is now.
I
And
think the collective is more open than it's ever been to look at people like us for guidance, healing, alternatives, where it wasn't always so much.
yeah, I mean, I told you a pile jumped, right? So these two jumps almost, these two are like they were like side by side. So you have renewal and uncertainty, and an uncertain renewal. So that, that falls in line with what you were saying, Jill. It's like confirmation of what you were just saying, and you know, what
So,
did you?
Angela, yes, we've been building a good foundation. So, I just pulled out my Goddess Guidance deck, which, yes, I bought because I saw Kerry use it ages ago and I copied her and I pulled, I'm not going to be able to say this name, Aracuria, I don't know, but it says blossoming. You are getting started. So, have patience with yourself in the process and don't give up. That's literally what I pulled as we were talking about preparation, getting ready, we're blossoming, doing new things, we're just getting started. And then on the bottom, it's always tends to be one. It's Pele. I want to say Pele, but I'm sure that's
Pella,
wrong. Pella, thank
Pella.
you. Divine passion. I love this card. Be honest with yourself. What is your heart's true desire? Look, she's like all fired up and red. That's the
Mm-hmm.
passion. That passion that burns inside of you. Lots of
Yep.
fire. I'm a fire sign, so I love cards like this. Be honest with yourself. Ugh.
That's Jill's
Nailed it.
favorite
Thank you.
one. That's all of our favorite ones. Let's be honest.
I know, right?
We all love being honest with ourselves. We all love getting to the nitty gritty. We all love sitting in the stairs, staring ourselves in the mirror, going, "This
Mm-hmm.
again? Didn't we
Yeah,
do
those
this before?"
damn mirrors that reflect our shit back at us. Isn't that great? And that's what's so funny. It's so simple. Like if you want to know what's bothering, like why does this person bother you, or what is it about the situation? Just take a look in the mirror. It's gonna reflect right back at you. It's that simple.
Mirror magic
But
is a
also,
very, very powerful tool in many ways. It's powerful for building a person up and building yourself up and getting that connection going and getting your truth out and for you to get your truth out and connect it here and here and here and total, in fullness. But mirror magic is also very good for shadow work.
yes, it is. So we were just like talk. So next week to be announced whether we get a special guest, do a wrap up. But so you know how there's a joke about I got 1,000 card decks, right? So I'm part of the card club at Hay House, where every quarter I get sent a box of cards, which is coming in September. So I will be doing a reveal. And two of the decks are actually not out. They're not out. You can't buy them yet. They haven't been on they're published obviously because I'm getting one, but they haven't been put out to be bought. So we get like a sneak preview, and I think one of them is a duplicate. The third, because I get three, I think the third one I might already have. And I do know that I have a book, so maybe we'll do a giveaway because I don't know. I always end up with duplicates of shit. But I like to pay it forward. I'd rather I don't ever return stuff. I like to give it to someone that's going to appreciate it. I mean, I know I gave Deb a deck. I don't know if I gave you one, Kerry. Can't remember. I know I gave
No.
Corey one of my dupes. I am
But
in
that's
a
okay. I have
sunshine.
plenty. I have
It's
lots of
not.
extra.
Well,
Although
I can't wait for
you can
October
never
because I
have
got a
too many.
Halloween. I got a
No
Halloween
matter
theme.
what Jonocide says, you can never have too many.
You can never have enough. Well, I actually have a Halloween deck that I got after Halloween that I'll be able to break out in October. That will be exciting. I got a deck for everything.
Me too.
Even spicy questions. Just saying. For the over 18 shows.
All right. Well, we are at the top of the
I
hour, my
am
love.
Yes, we are. Yes, dogs, not tarots. So, yes, I hope everyone enjoyed hearing about these gods tonight. I actually think I found the ones I like.
Yay!
Thank you. Much love to everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that fun YouTube stuff, because we want to try to grow this to a bigger. I so appreciate all our subscribers, but we really want to continue to grow the channel. So anything, if you watch a replay, hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm, believe it or not.
Yep. All right, everyone.
All
Have a
right.
great night, and we'll
Bye,
see you
guys.
next
Till
Tuesday.
next time, much love.
Much love.